Hey everyone, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. That theme song just gets me grooving. It's been a while. I've missed you all so very much, but as we've been talking about self-love, self-care, self-compassion, I needed some time to take care of me. So I'm back today with something which I think will be a little bit fun and a little bit different from what we usually talk about around here, a lot of mindfulness, a lot of Buddhism, but I think it plays into that. So, since the top of the year, we've been talking about how to take care of ourselves. So, we've talked about meditation, we've talked about affirmation, we've talked about um, self love, self care, self compassion as an ongoing thing. And today, what I want to talk about is being your own guru. And this was inspired by a woman that I follow on Instagram. Her name is Rahsunda Tramble. She lives in Europe and she goes by the handle of Stay Woke Tarot. And she has just amazing insight into the tarot. And she uses it as a way of calling up uh, and helping us engage and ground into our intuition. And one video she had like a month or two ago was about being your own guru. And the story was, if you are a follower of the tarot, you might know this. There is this belief that one should not buy their first tarot deck, one should wait for one to arrive to them. However, it comes from the universe or whatever you wish to believe. And she's talking about her experience with that. And where she ended up is that one should be their own guru and find their own path and find their own way. And I found that to be really compelling. And it really factored into what I had been focusing on as kind of core content areas and things that I'm interested in. And that video really struck me. And I was thinking, how often do we actually consider ourselves our own guru? Most of the time, I think within Western culture, we always look outside of ourselves to some authority, where whether that authority is real or imagined. It could be family of origin, it could be parents, it could be friends, it can be culture, it can be religion, it could be spirituality, just whatever. There is something that is outside of us that tells us who we are. And as a woman, that's very powerful because our lives and our bodies seem to be in the realm of public property, if you will. And as I'm raising a 13-year-old girl, I'm having to rethink and revisit, this wisdom. What I'm trying to instill in her is the same thing that we're talking about today, is being your own guru. You have to thinking of Jiminy Cricket here, let your conscience be your guide, let your intuition be your guide, because the only person that knows who you are is you. Because there are things about ourselves that, sure, our family, our friends may know, but not to use this kind of overused statement, is how do we really know people? Do we really know anyone? Right? And that's actually true, because not everyone will show you everything that's inside of them. I mean, I have secrets that I have. I mean, they're not like, oh my gosh, it's going to, if they're let out, my life or other lives will be destroyed and the world will come to an end. But they're things that are intensely private. I have thoughts, I have feelings about certain things that I don't really wish to share. I want to keep them, I'm using my hands here. It's like, I want to keep them close to my heart. I want to keep them inside. I want to hold on to them because they are precious to me. And things that are precious to you, you want to keep safe. And you don't have to share all of that with anyone. So you may not know as much as you think you know about your child or your spouse or your best friend or even your parents, because not everything is, public property. And again, as women, I think it is important for us to keep those parts of ourselves precious where we can. And when we're ready, open ourselves up to, open it up to the world if we, in layers, if we so choose to. And that's part of being your own guru. It's knowing what to share, when to share, how to share, or if to share. Using that intuition around all of those precious things, or just what you want to share and also discover about yourself. Those things that in that self-discovery, you're learning more about yourself, and that's going to help guide yourself on that journey. So I kind of wandered there, but bringing it back to my child again, she is 13 and ushering herself into a new place, puberty. She's no longer a child. She has all these, special things that are going on within herself. I mean, she has her own thoughts about what womanhood is for her, about sexuality, her body, and she needs to feel comfortable and confident that she can advocate for herself, that she is the authority on her. As her parent, there are things that I, as an adult, have more information, you know, purview, legal responsibilities that I guide and shape. So as a parent, I'm giving her more of a stance of like, well, how do you feel about this? Because I don't know, right? I am now the guardrails to help her start to think about the things that are important to her and how she's going to govern herself and like shape her life. So, with that, today, I think it's just really important that we all sit back and start to discover that we can be the leader in our life. We don't have to leave our life up to fate or up to things that our cousin said about us in 1977. Things can change. You can be your own person, and that's your job in life. I think your job in life is to be on that path of self discovery, learning that you can be your own guru, your own teacher, your own guide, and that you probably are your best guide. And at any point in your life, you need to be able to advocate for yourself. And it doesn't have to be in the realm of something that's super personal, but it's advocating if you're an introvert and you can't take all that stimulus. So I don't want to go to a lot of parties. And that's something that I learned. I didn't like parties. I used to go and I'd be like, I don't really like this environment. So why am I here? um, you can advocate if you have mental health issues or learning disabilities, or giving yourself permission to, I don't like doing that, so I'm not going to do that anymore. So fill in that blank. I will allow others to do that, or I will hire a service, or I'll just deem it not important. So within today's show, to help us start to kind of start getting into that intuition, we're going to play a little bit with the tarot. Um, some know the tarot as a divination tool. We are using this only for fun. This is not to get you the winning lotto ticket numbers. This is not legal or financial or medical help here. This is just solely for us to get grounded in a somewhat spiritual way to our intuition. So I'm going to talk about how you can use the tarot to, ground into your intuition. Um, I have various decks that I use. I have a variation of the Rider Waite tarot. There are many different. You can get anything you want, any kind of way that you want, any type of visualization that you want. You can go to Amazon and search for tarot cards or Rider Waite, and you can find different decks that might work for you. Or you could try oracle cards. I have an oracle deck that I like, and we can talk about that a little bit more. And it's just a way for us just to, as I said, to tune in. You can try picking a card, you can try spreads, and no one can tell you what the cards actually mean, right? once you look at the cards, just see what the picture is and see if that actually maps to something that's going on in your life. If not, keep picking until you see something that might fit. So when we come back from break, we're going to talk about more about being the expert on you. So with that, you're here with Brittany Miles and Miles to Go, How to Lose to Gain It All. And we're talking about being your own guru, hashtag learning more about your intuition and letting your intuition guide you. See you soon. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Brittany Miles. And you are here on Miles to Go with Brittany Miles, How to Lose to Gain It All. And we're talking about hashtag be your own guru. So we are having a little bit of fun with the tarot today and using the tarot to be our guide to our intuition so that we can be our own guru. So in the last segment, I just kind of teed up what we were talking about. And I think where we will go in this segment is talking about specifically how you are your own guru, right? You are the expert on you. And I didn't get that until I had a child. So once I had my baby and I was a new mom and everything, you are awash in hormones, diapers, crying, bottles, nursing, sleep deprivation. And everything seems like a crisis because you have this tiny human that is demanding everything from you. And as mom and primary caregiver, not saying dads are not primary caregivers, it's just kind of coming from my mama bear. You question everything. You read everything. You talk to your friends. You talk to your parents. You talk to your parents' friends. And, you know, every child is different. Every situation is different. And I tended to, when my daughter was itty bitty, is I wrote down everything, right? I had questions about everything. I had those late night Google sessions. And, you know, you get into these extremes where the rash is pretty simple, but you think it's going to require surgery, right? And when I would go into her pediatrician every month, she would tell me, Brittany, you are the expert on your girl. I am a doctor. I'm here. I have definite point of view. I have a definite perspective as a pediatrician for a number of years, as a clinician, and also as a fellow parent. She was a mother of 3 as well. She said, but when it comes down to it, you are the expert. You're with your daughter 24/7. I'm just here to hear what your concerns are, and we come together to create a plan. And I was like, it's like, oh, yeah. And that makes sense. And you sit back and go, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I am. Yes, I am Dr. Mom. I am the expert on my child. But then as I went through my own journey and my own path and getting older and more mature, just emotionally, I realized that, oh, if I'm the expert on my child, because I'm the one that's caretaking for her and she can't say or do anything because she's an infant, maybe, just maybe, I'm the expert on me. And I just felt insane. Like I was like, oh. And then I started to think back to when I had graduated from, you know, being a college student into being an adult. And I went to the doctor for the first time. And I needed my parents to take me because I couldn't see because I had swollen eyes due to an allergy. So I went in to see the doctor and I asked my mom, I said, aren't you coming in with me? And she's like, no. Why? She's like, I'll be out here. And the doctor was asking me all these questions about myself and, you know, because it was a new physician, a new allergist. And he was also asking me about my symptoms and all these things. And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, can I go get my mom? I was 23 at the time, 24. And I just didn't know because that's what she took care of. I don't know. And again, that was a time where after that, I asked her, I said, why did you come in with me? Why did I didn't they were asking me questions I don't know about, immunizations and other drugs and things. I don't pay attention to that. And she's like, well, you need to now. You're an adult. And I mean, the subtext there was hashtag be your own guru. So it's important that we realize that we are the experts on ourselves. And I had, really given up any sort of responsibility to my parents. And I mean, these are different areas where, yes, we come to independence and majority in different ways, but there are other ways where we're just looking for someone else to take care of it because they've always done that. I mean, you could see this dependency or interdependencies within marriages where there were certain things that, I expected my ex-husband to do, right? And once we got divorced, he didn't do it anymore. So I was like, oh, someone has to do that now. Because these are things I didn't like or I didn't give myself agency to do. And again, it's mind-blowing that, yeah, you can be the expert on you and your life. And then once you become that expert, you're taking responsibility, you're taking agency. And when it comes to things that are not like a doctor appointment or chores that you don't like, but it's taking agency for yourself, taking care of yourself, loving yourself. People are constantly looking for relationships, but the longest and best relationship you will have is with yourself. So self-love. So taking, be your guru there. Start loving yourself. Going back to self-compassion, same thing. If you're compassionate with others, give that compassion back to you. Be your own guru. Same thing with self-care. You care for others, be your own guru. And again, that's mind-blowing, but we can do that. We have that ability. We have that agency. So also as a part of being the expert on you and taking agency for yourself is thinking that what people say or people are saying is true. So that's a common thing that we'll say, well, they are saying. And when I was younger, I used to be like, who is they? No one would really respond because no one really knew. It's experts are saying, people are talking. Who are these people? Why is it that things outside of us have more weight and more portent than what's inside of us? I was listening to Wayne Dyer audiobook last night about the Tao Te Ching, and within that, Lao Tzu was talking about if you're following your intuition, that's the easiest and simplest path. Anything else kind of outside of yourself will take you on long paths, maybe a missed journey. Just things will be a little bit harder for you than if you listen to your intuition. So some will know it as listening to your first thought. I know Jan Levansant, one of my favorites, always talks about that. As soon as you meet someone and you get a bad feeling, listen to your first thought. If you feel like you shouldn't take that path on the way home, listen to your first thought. You have a sudden feeling that something's going on with one of your loved ones, your child, your spouse, your partner, whatever, your dog, your pet. Listen to that first thought. That first thought is a part of your brain, probably your subconscious. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I don't have that information. But what I tend to believe is that feeling, whatever it is present for you, wherever it resides in your brain, is usually right. I think we all have multiple examples of that in our daily lives. And sometimes we'll do it and we're like, yep, glad I listened. And sometimes you're like, you know what? I should have listened. Right? And you get yourself in a world of hurt, which takes us back to Lao Tzu again. Once you listen to that intuition, that's the shortest journey you can take. It's the simplest journey. And what we want to do is live a simple life. We don't want to live some sort of grand, kind of overpowering life. It's not to say that you're not living up to your dreams or your potential. It's that you're listening to your internal guidance system, following that path. That will be simpler than trying to outpicture and do more. than you probably need to do, and causing you potential hurt and harm and disarray. But as I was saying, we have this societal pressure to listen to some vague experts or sometimes specific experts. And sometimes it's necessary for us to listen to specific experts depending on the situation. But overall, listening to that guidance system internally will be, I think, a better bet and more of a friend for us all. And a way to get into that guidance system, lots people have multiple ways. I listen by through meditation, by getting quiet, getting still. A lot of the things that we have talked about along with mindfulness, but the tarot can be a powerful tool as well. Speaking with Olivia, our producer on the show, she also has an interest in the tarot as well. And we were chatting about decks and saying, whatever type of deck that you want, you can find. As I was saying before, there are decks that are variations of the master deck, the Rider Waite. One deck that I have, I think it's called the Tarot, and I think it's a little bit shiny, so I'll try to put it back here. This is a beautiful rendition of the Rider Waite. And then I also have oracle cards here from Marcella Kroll, and you can find her on Instagram. I think it's just Marcella Kroll. So there's a lot of stuff out there that you can use as, if you wish to say, lack of a better expression, a divination tool. And you could have a morning, pick one card, and that's something that you use for a meditation and think about during the day. You can use various different spreads, which are picking a number array of cards that deliver some type of message. So there could be a 3-card spread, which would be past, present, future, right? Or you could ask the cards whatever questions you have for them. So what I've learned from the tarot is that I am the author of my own life, and it's not up to fate. I can use my intuition to guide me, and I can be my own guru. And I can trust that I know best. And again, that the cards can help support and guide that intuition. And with that, we're getting ready for a break. You are here with me, Brittany Miles, on Miles to Go with Brittany Miles, How to Lose to Gain It All. And today we're talking about hashtag Be Your Own Guru and how to build the strength of intuition and let your intuition be your guide using the tarot. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Hey everyone, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You are here with Brittany Miles on Miles to Go with Brittany Miles, How to Lose to Gain It All. And today we're talking about hashtag Be Your Own Guru, using your intuition to guide you to your best life and using potentially the tarot as a divination tool. We've been talking about how we use these sort of invisible experts outside of ourselves to say what is important and what we should or shouldn't do. But we should always be the expert on ourselves. We are the expert on ourselves. We know ourselves best. So our intuition is that internal guidance system that keeps us on track if we choose to listen. It's always there. We can listen to it or ignore it. At times it's not to my peril, but to my dismay that I didn't listen to it, because it'll always give you another sense. And I think we've all had those experiences where you're like, I should have listened to I knew something told me I should have, or, oh, wow, I'm glad I listened to that. And intuition is not just for women or for mothers. It's for everyone. Everyone's got that guidance system. It's there to help us and to protect us, I think, mostly. And also to help you shine and move forward in the way that you need to. Again, it's like you've met that person where you're like, wow, I met this person. It's like we've known each other forever and it just feels right. Or a project just falls into alignment. Or you meet that person and you're like, nope, don't like them. And someone will be like, but why? So-and-so is awesome. And you're like, nope, 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 nope. And then later on, they'll see. So, a way to get there, to understand that intuition, is through the tarot, right? So, I have some cards here that I've talked about before. This is my Oracle deck from Marcella Kroll. She is uh, an artist, a deck creator, and she's also, I believe she's psychic. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up, but she does a lot of readings, and she's just an awesome person to follow on Instagram. And she created this deck, and I want to make sure I read the name here, and it's called Sacred Symbols for Divination and Meditation. Here you go. And it's beautiful. She drew all of these, and I'll show you a few of them. Mask. And as I said, these are oracle cards. These are not based upon the Rider Waite. And I'll show you one more. Ooh. Full moon, but upside down. There you go. I think these are just lovely. This is the first version, I think I said. This is, and I have the second version, but I like these cards a lot. So we can use these for divination to see, if we ask whatever question we ask of the desk, and also meditation. So as I said in the last segment, is that I like to use the cards as a method of meditation. So at times I'll do a one card pull. Some folks like to do them in the morning. Some folks like to do them in the evening. So for right now, I'm going to pull a card for the masses. I pulled one on the other deck, which we'll talk about later, for Olivia, and she liked my reading. Readings are personal, and we'll see. So I'm just going to ask Spirit, what message do you have for the masses on the show today? What should I share about intuition and being your own guide and being your own guru? Where should I pull? Okay, indicated bottom. So the card I pulled, is meditate. That is the card for all of us. So I think this is kind of fortuitous because, again, being your own guru, we were talking about using the tarot and oracle cards to learn more about our intuition. And it sounds like we all need to meditate, especially at this point in time in 2021. Looks like we're coming out of some of the wreckage of 2020, and things seem to be getting back on track. Folks are going to be getting some of the financial and social services, as well as public health support with the new vaccines. So meditating on how we can continue to further this positive energy and positive support. What can we take from the learnings of the past of 2020, and how can we actually apply those lessons here? We're heading into spring, so things that have been dormant are now reawakening. So now's the time for us to see the seeds that we planted during the winter come to fruition. So let's continue to water and continue to help grow those seeds into full plants and see what we come to harvest in the summer into the fall. And hey, Olivia, since you're here, and Olivia's our producer, do you mind jumping in? How does this card read to you? How did you feel about that reading?
Yeah, I think definitely during these times, everyone's being called right now to just take a deep breath. I think that everyone could benefit from that right now.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what I'm going to do now is I have another deck, which is called the Fountain Tarot. And again, these are kind of hard to see there because they're beautifully drawn. And this is a riff on the Rider Waite. And I won't put the cards on my face so you can actually see them. Here's another one. Beautiful illustration. You can find this deck probably on Amazon, or you could follow the Fountain Tarot on Instagram. As you guys can realize that most of my life is spent on Instagram. So again, let's pick a card from here and see what Spirit has to tell us. So Spirit, please tell us if there's any other additional messages I need to share with the collective. What should I share? Okay, Cool. So I got the card Temperance. So again, I think this is major arcana, and I do not do full on um, readings as you might find in a guidebook. If you are looking for good references of translations of what the cards means, I would check out Biddy Tarot. She has a course. I think part of it's free, part of it is paid on her website as well as Instagram. And then you could try Auntie Flo, AUNTYFLO on the web, and she has great free interpretations as well. So for Temperance, it looks like there's a man that's sitting in cold water and there's some ice in between his hands. There's a direct line from the sky to his head, as well as a hazy background. What I'm taking from this is kind of like what I said from meditation, is that we need to meditate. We need to kind of hold fast to our dreams and our aspirations and our wishes. Things are coming into fruition, but let's not go too high. Let's not go too low. Let's just stay temperate, right? Let's go with the flow. Things will be moving, but they're going to be moving at their own pace. There's direct line from spirit to us. So let's follow that guidance, that intuition, or other signs and symbols that we see in our life. And the water doesn't seem as turbulent, but again, just being easy with things. So that's what I have today for the masses. So again, let's talk about how we can use the tarot to learn about yourself, right? So how do you find a deck? I've been talking about this. There are tons of folks on Instagram. There are tons of folks on YouTube. There's Twitter, as well as just the web, where you can find different books for interpretation. There are free classes. There are web pages. But I think the best way to find the readers that you like, or people that interpret the tarot that actually feel good to you, is just by looking on Instagram. Two that I highly recommend are Rahsunda Tramble, and she is Stay Woke Tarot, STAY, WOKE Tarot, TAROT, and that's one word. And there is another reader that I like. Her name is Tatiana Tarot, and I've had a reading with her, and she's amazing. And she has lots of decks that she uses that are Black, Indigenous, people of color. So you can find an array of decks that she will link to as well. And she is TATIANNA Tarot, TAROT. And these folks read every day. Sometimes they have single cards, sometimes they have multiple spreads, and sometimes they just have general readings like a tarot meditation for the collective, in the way that I just did, coming from their intuition, sharing out their wisdom with us. And they also will tell you and instruct you if it resonates, it's for you. If it doesn't resonate, it's not for you. So again, being your own guru. I tend to use, like I said, kind of pick a card. I pick a time during the day. At times I'll take a picture, and then I'll write notes about what my question was to the deck and the card, what the cards is speaking to me and saying to me. And then I'm able to go back and look at that and see kind of the progress and see what's going on. So having that journal to see your progress and be able to see patterns about your questions and what's going on in your life. You can also do multiple spreads of 3 or more cards. I think for novices, I think keeping it to 3 cards, which really will resonate to like past, present, future, or just 3 simple questions that you want the deck to answer for you. So with that, we are going to break. You are here with me, Brittany Miles, on Miles to Go, How to Lose Again It All. And we're talking about hashtag Be Your Own Guru and using the tarot to guide your intuition. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon. Hey everyone, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Good to see you. You are here with me, Brittany Miles, on Miles to Go with Brittany Miles, How to Lose to Gain It All. Our show today is hashtag Be Your Own Guru, and using the tarot as a tool to find out what your intuition has for you. We've talked all hour about how we are our own expert. The expert on you is you. No one can tell you more about you. And listening to yourself is really important. Don't rely on vague, invisible experts outside of you, like people are talking, people are saying, they said. The only voice that you need to hear is your own, and that voice is your intuition, and your intuition is here to help you, to serve you, and to guide you to the best life has to offer. So we've talked about how to use the tarot as a tool for that. You can use the Rider Waite. There are many different variations that you can find. Amazon's a great starting point. There are many readers on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Most of them have handles across all of those social platforms. Some of my favorites are Stay Woke Tarot and Tatiana Tarot on Instagram. And we've talked about how to make this real. So last segment, I did a reading for the collective on meditation from an oracle card, as well as Rider Waite. And basically it's about meditation, coming to realization that we need to be temperate, wait for things to come into fruition, look at different avenues or all avenues of information. Everything in life isn't binary, and meditation helps us get to that place of opening ourselves up to new information and new flow. So what I suggest, if this is something that's of interest to you, just do it. You can find a deck, you can get a used deck. You could find online decks just to play around with to see if it's fun. And there's no one right interpretation. Depending on what you're asking or what you need to know, that information will come to you from your intuition. Just look at the cards, see what the images depict, and see if they resonate. If it doesn't resonate, pick another card, shuffle again. If you need more clarity, ask the deck for clarity. Pick one card and then another card and another card. I wouldn't go down like a 10-card path, like does he love me, loves me not, loves me not, but you'll know when to stop. I would say stop around like 4. But truly look at the cards and look for patterns. If you're doing readings on a daily basis or a weekly basis, keep a journal, take pictures of the cards or write down your feelings or your thoughts and what's going on for you. Look to see if you have patterns. See if there's something that you need to know. Sit in meditation. You can look at the card within your meditation or keep that as an image in mind and see what your meditation brings to you. Your meditation might open up more information to you because you're trusting your intuition more. Your intuition will be that still small voice within you that will probably come up through your meditation once you get past monkey mind. So with that, I think we've talked a lot today about, again, trusting your intuition. This falls in line with a lot of the mindfulness stuff that we talk about here, self-love, self-care, self-compassion. Trusting yourself is foundational, fundamental work. Trusting yourself is listening to that still small voice to tell you how you're feeling, what you're experiencing, and validating that experience. And only you can validate you. And with that, have a great day. I'll see you in another 2 weeks with another amazing show. Thanks, Olivia, for being here and being an awesome producer. Take care. See you soon, everyone. Bye.
You have been listening to Miles to Go with Brittany Miles. How to lose to gain it all. Tune in live every second and fourth Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com, where Brittany Miles teaches you how to lose to gain it all with the healing power of surrender. Are you ready to lead a happier life? For more information or to connect with Brittany, visit milestogocoaching.com. That's Miles with the number 2 GO coaching.com.